Thank you so much for downloading the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Today, Paula and I reminisce a little bit about high school PE. We also talk about how I am a princess when it comes to sleeping, and we love a parade. All of this plus some very, very embarrassing, ugly and awkward moments of the week. Thank you so much. Shop lipandclip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
It says it doesn't cause hickeys, so maybe it's a good way to go.
Paula?
Nick is a little too much, in my opinion.
Uncensored as always, it's time for The Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 418. Yes, so we are Sisters Who Podcast. I'm only saying it because I can't, it's like I got to get out of my brain, but we are. And Paula, you're not feeling well, and you are you still refusing to believe that it was the flu shot?
It's not the flu shot.
Okay. Okay, fine.
It could be because I was forced to go on a run the other night.
Okay, who forced you to do that?
Okay, so Ryan's been wanting us to go on a run, like the whole family, because he's, way into exercise right now. And I'm just like, yeah, how hard can it be? Well, here's the problem. When they say run, I think jog, like jogging. And so I was just thinking like a nice mild jog, like around the block or up the street or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like running. And I'm just like, okay, wait a minute. Why are we running so fast? Like this, because I was like in the back and I'm like, can we slow down? And they're like, oh, and Victor's like, I was going as slow as possible. And I'm like, no, you weren't. I'm just like, what's the rush? I'm like, we're going to get there, but like, can we just pace ourselves?
Yeah.
Can we just jog or, pony prance or something like that, on the way down there? It's just, I felt like I had a collapsed lung by the time we got halfway around the block.
I hate running so much. Daryl, he had to start exercising, and he was going on runs. He's like, do you want to come with me? I'm like, never in a million years. No, you've chosen the wrong girl. I will never, ever run with you. I can't believe you guys did it as a family. Did Olivia at all say, you know what, you guys, I need water?
No, that was me. I was the first one. And Olivia's like, come on, Mom, we can catch up with them. But I'm like, no, Olivia, we're not catching up with them. And she's like, she's like, do you care if I go? I'm like, yes, I do. Stay with me. So
yeah, I don't run. Daryl loves to run.
I'd rather do that than a treadmill because, you're outside and
yeah.
It's just different. But of course, it was like pitch of black of night. So we had like those freaking like chem lights hanging around. Victor made necklaces for everyone. So we looked like, the geeks running down the street.
What the hell? Wait. I did not recall. Whose idea was this again?
Ryan's.
And so you did it?
Yes, we all decided to go with him for a run.
And how did he do? Did he enjoy the run?
Oh, him and Victor, well, okay, I should say he was fine. But here's the other thing, too, is I forget, like, kids, they do PE at school all the time. So, they're used to running and doing all sorts of activities and things like that. Ryan does PE every day, and they run, like, every day. And he runs the mile at least once a week. Olivia even does the mile, although she said she walks it. She's like, Mom, she's like, I did the mile today. I'm like, oh, really? And she's like, guess what my time was? I'm like, 8 minutes. And she's just like, no, 16 minutes and 32 seconds. I'm like, oh. I'm like, Olivia, well, did you walk it? She's like, not the whole time, but...
Yeah, that's like not even doing it. I remember when I was at school, well, you and I went to the same high school, just different, obviously different times, but the Ram Jam or the Ram Run or what was it called?
The P Run.
I can't remember what we called it. It was like the Ram Jam.
Is that where you like ran through the neighborhoods, like in the country area?
This was something we had to do 4 times a year or once a month, or honestly, I blocked it out how many times I had to do it. But there was always the guys who were in track who it was their goal to beat the school record. It was a mile, and you started at like the track, and you ran all the way around the perimeter of the school through a neighborhood. I believe you went up that one side street. Mm-hmm. And I remember very vividly Greg Webb, who was also a track runner. I think he did like a 5 minute. I think it was like 5.2 1.12, like 5 minutes and 12 seconds he did it. And he was way fast. And it was graded. So if you came in after 7 minutes, it was like a D because you would get letter grades back then. I remember I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, you guys. I'm doing it this time. I was always one of the last. I hated running. So my lungs would burn. I just hated it so much. And I think I came in at like, I remember one time I came in at like 6:57. He goes,
whoa,
cutting it real close there, minor. Or no, Campos, I guess.
Yeah.
Cutting it real close there, Campos. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, it was barely a C. And I'm like, I can't breathe.
You're like, I made it.
I can't. But all the guys would come in, under 6 easily. But I remember one time I got under 7, but I was terrible at it. Terrible.
My friend and we got brave one year. I think we were freshmen, and they let you pick like what type of PE activity you want to do for like the semester or something.
Right.
Most of the girls chose aerobics. The other chose just like regular PE. And me and my girlfriend, we decided to pick weight training, which is where all the boys went.
Well, that's because you're smart.
We were the only 2 girls in the class. Well,
oh God, it's so sweaty and smelly in there.
We didn't care.
Oh, I would. Ugh. That's way too much musk for high school.
We thought we were cool. And so what we didn't realize is there was just extensive running. So there was something called the P run, which is
the P run.
It made a big letter P. And so you had to go like up this main street into like the neighborhood, past like these, horse ranches and then back up into the gym or something like that. And
I know exactly that run.
It took like the whole period, literally.
For you?
Well, for most people, like if you
really,
if you made a good time, you really only had not much time left over because then you had to go and dress out and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
And so if you didn't make it, then you had to wait for the meat wagon, which was basically the coach in his truck. He would drive around and pick up all the stragglers. And so usually he would catch us and we'd be like feeding the horses or picking flowers.
Oh my God, you're so funny.
And we're like, hey, here we are. So
he's just like, oh my God.
He's like, all right, Fox and Campos, get in the truck.
That's so funny.
I know. And so we're just like, well, what did we get? He's like, I'm not grading you today.
You know what? I will say, you and I growing up in the late 80s, early 90s in high school, teachers were so more laxed about stuff like that.
Well, especially with us because we were such a joy in class, we
were.
They didn't want to fail us. I think I got a C in that class. But
you know what? I will say that about CASA, our high school, the athletic department, the coaches, the PE teachers, men and women, they were all so amazing. They were great. I can literally think of like 7 teachers who had anything to do with sports and also were teachers, whether it was PE, science, or whatever. They were all such a delight. I just loved them. I think it was the endorphins because they were all fit. We didn't have any fat PE teachers.
No, and what I felt bad too because he coached the girls basketball team. So I mean, he knew what fit girls looked like, and
yes.
It's just he knew that we were just in over our heads. And
yeah, the weight training was probably a poor choice.
And all we ever did most of the time when we were in the weight room was curls.
Yeah.
I think we got like. Our goal, because he had to write down like goals for everyone. Our goal was to be able to bench press the bar by like the end of the year.
Hey, you know what? Aren't those bars like 50 pounds?
They're like 45 pounds.
They're heavy, man. I remember I was dating Tyler's dad back when I was very young. We were dating, and he was really into free weights and bench pressing and all that stuff. And he had the bench press and everything. He goes, "You want to try it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll try it. What the hell?" Okay, we don't have upper body strength whatsoever. So he goes, "Well, we'll just start with the bar." And I'm like, "Oh, all right." I'm like, "Hey, this is so heavy."
Yeah, I know.
Terrible.
My friend and I used to have to spot each other when we were doing the bar. And so, and all the boys would look at us and they're like, what the fuck?
Like, they're not going to save each other. Someone's neck is getting broken.
I mean, they were trying not to laugh at us, but I mean, it was a bit humorous to watch, 2 girls spotting each other trying to bench press a bar. So,
especially back then where we all looked like we belonged on Saved by the Bell.
Well, I mean, imagine my
really that shape.
Because I think I was a whole 95 pounds then. So
yeah,
my arms looked like 2 shaking toothpicks,
little
trying
spaghettis.
to.
Yes, little raw pasta noodles.
little angel hairs trying to,
It's like Forky. You look like Forky.
trying to push up a Q-tip. So
Little pipe cleaners. It's like trash. Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. Yeah, you know what? I did hate PE in high school, and luckily, well, actually, I got 4 years of PE credit because of cheerleading.
Oh.
And all that, but the first 2 years were actual PE.
Right.
And to this day, I still hated the swim unit because I had it in like February. And now the pools were super duper warm. It was probably like 80-degree pools. So it was really warm. The steam was coming off everywhere. Of course, the boys were in heaven. They loved it.
Oh, because they like seeing the girls in their bathing suits.
Well, not only that, but I mean, they don't have a problem with, especially with the copious amounts of hairspray we all had to use. I mean, girls were bringing their bathroom to school because,
right. Well, and when I was in school, we were all hippies. So, we just had like
grunge.
That long flowy hair, and we never used hairspray.
Oh, yes. You were going to school when no one wore makeup, like savages.
I did, but I mean, my friends
were in high school.
My friends were all like, just eyeliner and chapstick. So,
oh God, no! When we were in high school, it was all about like Madonna and all. I mean, full Aquanet. Everyone's like, "Can I borrow your Aquanet?" Oh yeah, sure. It's
you guys must have looked like drowned rats when you were kids.
Oh my God! Well, first of all, most of us had our period for 6 weeks straight. Like none of us could go in because no one believed in tampons back then. Apparently, none of us. So we were all sitting on the bench freezing our asses off while everybody else was in the pool having fun.
See, the guys in our classes, they always wanted to do chicken fights, and it's just because they wanted the girls on their shoulders. And
oh God!
It was just like an opportunity to just touch girls in bathing suits. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
it's like they're bra and underwear. You guys, let's do this.
Yeah, like we want to touch skin and bodies, and it's wet. I don't know. This was kind of cool.
I fucking hated the swim unit. I just did, and even to this day. And I love swimming.
I did too.
You're so self-conscious back then. You're like, do you know how much time I spent on my eye makeup today? Like, you want me to get in and ruin it all? Come on.
I was just self-conscious because, I had a bra top bathing suit on, but there was nothing in there, so
you couldn't stuff it.
If all my friends could see me now.
Yeah,
however that
really
song goes.
Killing people with those things now.
Seriously.
Speaking of weight, I did not realize how weird and picky and particular I am about my bed. So the new trend, as you know, is the weighted blanket.
I've heard about those.
Everybody's talking about the weighted blanket, how it's supposed to help with insomnia and anxiety. And I guess the premise is most children who are born are swaddled when they're brand new. And it comforts them to be super tight swaddled because it reminds them of the womb or whatever. So these weighted blankets are supposed to somehow create the same feeling of security. And I've never seen a weighted blanket. I've only read about them. Well, Target had them, and they were doing this super duper special Black Friday deal. And so Daryl and I are walking through. I go, "Oh my God, look, weighted blankets!" And it was like, it was sheep's wool on one side, and the other side was like this soft flannelly thing. And they were super cheap, like $30.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Let's get one." I said, "I've heard about these. I struggle so much with anxiety at night. So let's see if it works." He goes, "Okay, cool." So we bought it. First of all, they're really fucking heavy.
Like ankle weights kind of heavy?
Yes. It's 12 pounds. And it's not even the size of a twin. It's like almost a twin. So they're not that big.
Okay.
So he picks it up and it's in a roll and everything. So we get it home and we put it on the bed and it's really pretty because it's a pretty creamy color. And I'm like, all right. And so I get in bed. I'm like, wow, this thing is really heavy. It's like significant. You definitely know it's there. So all night long, I did not sleep well. I kept waking up thinking that I had a bunch of coats laying on my bed.
Oh, God.
Like when you go to a party and everybody puts their coat on a bed? That's what it felt like. So I did not sleep the first night. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a second try. So I did it again. Same thing. I kept waking up feeling like I had too much on me. Like there's like stuff. When you've seen kids, and we've all done it when you're kids and you fall asleep and you have your backpack and your shit on your bed, but you're still sound asleep and it does not affect you whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't know how kids do that, but they do. I can't do that. I have to be completely free of any debris on my bed when I'm sleeping. Like no robes, no nothing.
How did Daryl sleep?
He didn't even notice.
Oh, really?
Like thing. And so, and he's such a good sleeper. He's not like me at all, or you, and even you probably. But so anyway, I went to go see our mom yesterday, and I said, oh, so by the way, I bought one of those weighted blankets. She goes, oh my God, did you like it? And I said, well, she goes, oh my God, you hate it. You're such a princess in the pea. And I said, you know what? I am. I hate it. I hate it. I said, I thought I would like it. I hate it. She goes, Jamie, take it back. And I said, well, I'm going to see if anybody else in the house wants to try it, because I might just be an enigma. I mean, like, other people might really love it and think it feels secure and safe and they feel all tucked in. I said, Mom, was I not a swaddled child? She's like, I don't remember. And I said, well, if I was, I think I hated it. She's like, well, maybe.
None of my kids like to be swaddled.
Mackenzie hated it. Days old, would push her little scrawny arms out of the swaddle and scream. She hated it so much. So she definitely won't like the weighted blanket.
One of them, or if not both of them, always had to have one arm free. Like they just,
Aww.
like almost in protest, like, ah! You know,
It's like freedom!
You know, like once they came out, they're just like, I will stretch this arm out and it's never going back in. You know, they they didn't find comfort. And when I sleep at night, I have to have one leg out at least.
Yeah, me too.
And then like, if even that, and then I have to have like both arms out, or maybe just one arm covered and one arm free. And so really the only thing that's covered is like my midsection. Even now, like, because Olivia sleeps in my room, you know? And so she's like, Mom, she's like, can we sleep without the ceiling fan on tonight? I'm like, fine. If I had my way, like my room would be like 65 degrees at night. You know, it's like
I like it cold too.
I'd crack the window. I'd have the ceiling fan on. I already don't sleep with clothes on, and so
I hate wearing clothes to bed.
I would just be barely covered. Everything would be all out and exposed, and it just sounds perfect.
Now that we're super close to being true empty nesters, where it's just me and Daryl, he's like, do you know that there's going to be a time where I can walk around my own house with no clothes on? And I said, you know what? I guess legally you could, but I'm going to insist that you don't. I would like you to wear underwear in our house.
You don't want
I don't want you sitting on anything.
You don't want any teabagging situations.
I really don't. I really don't want you brushing your penis on kitchen cabinets. I'd prefer not to know that anything has touched that. I'm just saying.
Naked's a little too much, in my opinion. It's just like, whoa.
I couldn't do it. He's like, we can sit naked in our backyard. I'm like, I never will. I won't do it.
Why would we want to?
I don't know. I don't. But, you know, guys are weird. They're very nature-y. Most men just are like, free. It's like if they could camp nude and not have anything bite their dick, they'd do it. I think they would. I think if they could fish naked, they would do it. Don't you think?
You know,
his brother once told us that his goal was to go to Fiji and wear nothing but the tiniest of loincloths and go fishing in the sea. That's what he wants to do one day. And Daryl's like, yes. So, I mean, I think that's something that guys would want to do.
You know, I don't want to know what guys want to do in their little sick minds. I just...
We would be so single if we knew what men were thinking.
I know in my, like, I would say in, like, the last 6 months, Victor always has a rule about people walking around in their underwear because he just thinks it's indecent.
Okay.
I've just kind of just don't give a fuck anymore because wearing pants, for me, it really hurts my back. And so I'll just wear T-shirts and underwear. And sometimes, like, they're just my T-shirts, like the shirts I wore that day. So you can totally see my underwear.
Well, I mean, have you thought about buying, like, cute little shorts, like little cotton gym shorts? They have those.
They still hurt, you know, because...
Oh, really?
There's something about the waistband that hurts my back.
Anyway, well, it's your house. You can do whatever you want.
Sometimes that's where I wear my little ugly old lady nightgowns because those don't hurt.
Right.
I've just given up and I'm just like, well, I'm just going to walk around in my underwear and a shirt. And if someone's got a problem with it, they can take it up with me. And
they can take it up with me.
And I'll probably just tell them to go fly a kite.
Speaking of everybody in your family, yesterday was Veterans Day.
Yes, it was.
Little Miss Olivia is a Girl Scout and she had the privilege of walking in the Veterans Day parade in your town.
Yes, it was very
That is so exciting.
Yes, it was kind of last minute. It was late last week. They contacted all the Girl Scouts and said that they had been invited to walk in the Veterans Day parade.
I love it.
I know. It was pretty exciting. Well, by then, we hadn't bought her like little vests or her little patches or anything yet. And so
You had to hurry up and do that.
well, so I was on the online store, but it said it was still going to take like, 5 to 7 days. I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So I knew that there was a Girl Scout store in town. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, I'm actually going to have to go somewhere and shop.
Yes.
So we went to the store. It's actually really cool. It's like a little Girl Scout department store.
Yes, I would love to go to one. I think it'd be fun.
Well, it's really interesting. Well, you wouldn't have wanted to go that day because the kids were just being hellacious. That was the same day I taped their mouths shut with Gorilla duct tape, but which I didn't realize it was Gorilla duct tape. It was like Ryan, just as I was putting the tape on his mouth, he's all, Mom, it's Gorilla tape.
Oh, no.
But I didn't really realize there was a difference, but I guess it's like hardier or stickier, but
Okay.
I don't know. So I went there. I had like the little handout and I had like, because there's so much stuff that you have to put on there, but there's certain things that she's not allowed to put on there yet. And so I had to make sure I was just getting the right stuff. And then you can sew the things on there, but I think most people use this other thing. It's called Badge Magic, which is...
Yeah, it's like sticky tape, right?
Basically, that's what it is. And
Yeah.
so, unfortunately, I trusted Victor to do that. He showed me what he
because you
did.
think he's a uniform pro.
Well, and I just thought he'd be a bit more meticulous than that. And he shows me, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, what have you done? He's just like, and here's the part. He would not admit that what he had done was wrong. He's just like, I just followed the image. And I'm like, that does not, I'm like, this is the image, and that's what you've done. I'm like, do they look the same? He's like, I think that they look pretty accurate. And I'm just like, they do not!
You are wrong.
I'm like, they are wrong. You are wrong. Just admit it. You did it wrong. And he would not admit it. And I'm just like, whatever. So eventually he peeled them off. He figured out a way and then just reattached them. And so we got her little vest together, of course, the night before.
Of course.
At like 11:30 at night.
Yes, absolutely.
And then she needed a white t-shirt. And I'm like, oh, God damn it, I forgot. And so I'm just thinking, am I going to have to go to like Walmart right now? That's the only store that's open to get her a white t-shirt. I'm like, will they even have white t-shirts? And so then I'm just like, you know what, Olivia? I'm like, do you have any white shirts? Just white shirts in general? And she's like, yeah, here, I have this one. And I'm like, okay, you're going to wear it backwards. And so.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So she did.
It looked totally fine in the photos.
Yeah, because it had this little cute little like crisscross design. And so she wore that. She wore it backwards. But on the back, there was like this giant glittery unicorn.
No one would even notice.
No one noticed. And so I don't know if you watched the video, but as I approached her, she was complaining about how tired she was and how thirsty she was. So
I saw that. She's like, I need water. And I'm like, oh my God, you're the worst Girl Scout ever.
She's totally a Campos. I know.
Oh my God. Well, what was hilarious was when she saw you videoing, she's like, oh my God. Like she's so like put upon with all the paparazzi and the filming. It was so funny.
She's like, Mom, I'm so thirsty. I'm tired. This is the longest walk ever. Which is so funny because it's the Veterans Day parade. And I'm like, yes, because,
it's all about you, my darling.
You have it so much worse than the veterans did in World War II or, Vietnam War. Or, any other war after that. But,
Yes, well, but luckily you didn't see your friends die, but, you're exhausted and you needed Crystal guys are post haste. So
right. And the whole walk, it was like 1.5 miles. So it wasn't like.
It's not that bad. I have to say that I, in high school, again, obviously not after high school, I participated in many parades, holiday parades, summer parades, the Powwow Day Parade in Orangevale, where we're from. And then our children, because they were part of the swim team, they got to walk in the parade a couple of times. It is a blast.
I thought it was fun to watch. I haven't seen a parade in forever.
It's really fun. And the local community parades are the best. They're so great.
What I was so surprised at, because, I mean, to be honest, back when I was in high school, we didn't have marching bands. And so, not really. I mean, we had the band, but we didn't have marching bands with like flag girls and then the ones flicking these little white plastic guns. And
I think I'm pretty sure we had one, but maybe they didn't have them. Maybe it was like inconsistent based on participation.
I don't know. And maybe it was, or if we did, maybe there was like 10 people, but not enough to actually march anywhere. So I was just like, so obviously I took plenty of videos of the marching bands because I think marching bands are just the coolest.
That's awesome.
And they are all pretty good. Of course, the one that the kids are going to go to, they were the best, naturally.
Of course.
There was, okay, so they always have the beauty queens, you know?
Oh, yeah, Miss Elk Grove. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, I didn't actually see her, but they had someone called Miss United America.
What's that?
Well, I don't know who she was, but
Well, what is that? I've never heard of that in my life.
but I didn't find her particularly attractive, so she was probably my age, and
Oh, was it Mrs. United America?
I'm not really what she was. She was about my age and maybe about 20 pounds heavier, and so. And she was standing outside waving, and she did have a sash and a tiara on, and I'm just like, well, I guess that's all you need, but...
The UA program honors women who successfully balance education, career, family, volunteerism, grace, and beauty.
Well, I'm not sure about the last part, but...
Well, it all takes place in Texas, so I don't know. This seems kind of not legit. I don't know.
Well, when I read the sash, I'm like, well, because at first I saw her, and I'm just like, well, what the fuck program did she win? You know?
It's all Texas.
I couldn't wait to read her sash, and then I just said, I'm like, Miss United America. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
I've never heard of this in my life. Okay, so we'll make this brief. I have a few. I think you probably have a few. We were going to talk about some of the weirdest shit we found on Amazon.
Yes.
Okay, so initially I had some, and I'm like, these aren't that weird. They're just dumb, but I found some pretty funny, weird shit. You tell me one, and then I'll tell you one.
Okay. I found one called, it's the Magic Deal Hen Stag Party Trophy Funny Prop Accessory. It is the World Champion Dick Trophy.
What?
It is a copper dick on like a trophy, like a
stand,
like a wooden trophy stand, and it just says World Champion. The sad part is that it's only 4.9 inches tall, and so,
that is no trophy, my friend.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
It has to be at least 6 inches. What's the point?
Well, I mean, that's
congratulations, you're average.
It's more
like
like
what?
Kind of sounded more like a butt plug in my opinion, but
is it something you can use as a marital aid?
Well, it's like then it's got like a little like red, white, and blue ribbon tied around it at the base, and
right.
So
that's no gift.
I'm not really sure what you would do with this, but
speaking of butt, for $35, you can have a cat butt tissue holder. Comes in orange tabby or tuxedo cat.
So you pull tissues out of the cat's butt?
Asshole, yes. So it's like a ceramic, and I assume that you put the box underneath. There's an opening, I assume, at the bottom, and then you pull the paper through the asshole opening, and then you pull tissue out of its butthole.
Why would you want to do that?
Because it's funny. I think it's funny. You don't think it?
I mean, I guess, but I couldn't imagine mom coming over and saying, "Do you have a tissue?" And I'd hand her a cat asshole.
I would totally do it. It'd be funny as hell.
Yeah, I guess that would be kind of funny. Okay, so my next one is the Farting Animals Coloring Book.
I saw that.
I don't know. And believe it or not, believe this or not, this is a #1 bestseller in stenciling. I don't know why. It's on the 2019 gift ideas for white elephant gifts.
Oh.
And gifts for kids. They're not even like nicely drawn animals. They're kind of just like very basic stick figure, not even stick figures, but just like not greatly
basic
drawn
drawings.
animals. But I mean, it's like a penguin and a scenery, and he's got like a little butt poof coming out.
Oh, geez.
A giraffe turning around looking at his tail, and he's got a poof of a butt coming out, and you know, a cat tooting, a squirrel tooting, you know, all these things. And
it's kind of cute.
It's $6. So if you're looking for a stocking stuffer, I guess, get the Farting Animals Coloring Book for your kids. They'll think it's funny.
Okay. So this one, I don't know how you feel about it, so you tell me.
Okay.
The Blackhead Remover Vacuum Pore Cleaner.
Oh, God, I've seen that.
So here's what I found interesting about it. First of all, I always like the descriptions of these weird things. It is a blackhead whitehead remover. It's a suction device with 5 adjustable suction heads. You can remove them correctly without hickeys. Now, the thing with these is that they're clearly made in China, so the Chinese to English translation is always terrible.
Okay.
This says our face vacuum whitehead remover is past FDA certified and certificated and designed with smother suction head. Only remove the blackheads and will not hurt your skin. Before use, please hot compress your skin for 10 minutes to open the pores and use the blackhead export liquid to make the blackheads emerge to the surface so that you can see the effect clearly. A safe way to improve beauty.
I'd be afraid. It kind of sounds like a Flowbee for the skin.
I would be, well, first of all, who wants to be robbed of the utter satisfaction of removing a blackhead?
Well, I guess if
really.
you have that many, then,
It says it doesn't cause hickeys, so maybe it's a good way to go.
I guess they have to make sure it's of the right color. They don't want it to be black to make sure they're not burning someone's face off. But
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
So, all right. So I should not purchase the blackhead vacuum for you.
No, I don't have blackheads.
I know, but I'm just saying in general.
Okay, so those they're like backpacks or shirts or pillows where you slide them and one side is like cloth and you slide them back, the other side is like sequins.
Yes.
Okay. So they have throw pillows, but they say funny things. So I fucking hate people. You can get one with Jeff Goldblum's face. You can get one with Keanu Reeves' face. You can get one with Nicolas Cage's face, or you can get one with Ruth Bader Ginsburg's face.
Oh,
so
okay.
These are $22. You have to, if you want the Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you better hurry. There's only 3 left in stock.
Ginsburg, really?
Yeah.
All right. And then my final one. Okay. And I did see Nicolas Cage pillowcases that I thought about getting you because they're $19 for a pair, but I don't know if you love them that much.
What is it with Nicolas Cage? I do love him, but
I know.
Why is he so iconic with people?
I don't know. Maybe because he's been around for so long. Huh, sweetie? God. All right. So this is the last one for me. It's $14.95, and I'm seriously considering it for Christmas for you. It's the talking toilet paper spindle.
I saw that. I almost picked that one.
Record your own message and re-record again and again. Fits most toilet paper holders and includes an on-off switch. And the only reason that I thought about getting it for you is because you, of all people, would record something that your children would have to hear every time they went to the bathroom. And it would say, wash your hands, filthy animal, or something. You know what I'm saying?
Keep wiping until there's nothing left.
And I don't want or it's don't record your farts in here or something. It would be so funny.
Olivia, don't forget to flush.
I just love it. I love it so much. I'm like, oh my God, I have to get this because if any household that I know who would enjoy anything that records anything that they do, it would be Paula's house.
God, that would be funny. I'd have to get
well, don't buy it.
I'd have to get 2. One for the boys'
for both
bathroom,
rooms.
one for mine.
I just know eventually someone's recording farts.
Well,
I know
was just going to say eventually it would just be BMs. That's all it would be.
Yeah, eventually be like, oh, you guys got to hear this.
Yeah. Or Ryan, I'd hear it. Then he'd be like,
right.
He does this high-pitched girl laugh.
Oh, God, that's so funny. Tyler does that too. How funny. That's so
Ryan
funny.
thinks it's just hilarious. I don't know why.
Okay. Well, that's a good one too. And I'm not surprised you and I both saw that one. So, all right. Well, we're running out of time, but we have to do our Ugly and Awkward Moments, the Queef edition.
Where did that word even come from?
I don't know. We should have Googled to find out where queef came from. That's really interesting.
It is strange.
It is strange.
No, I was just thinking about that celebrity mean tweet.
Celebrity mean tweet?
The one I sent you.
The Ariana Grande one?
Yeah.
Where did queef...
What is a queef exactly? The sound your vagina is making, better known as a queef. The noise is similar to a fart, but it's not the same thing at all. A queef has no smell. Well, And it has, I wouldn't go down there to find out. It has, God, do you think people have done that in some guys' faces?
Well, based on my research, yeah, a lot.
Oh my God. It has nothing
The term queef originates from the name of Saint Queef of Barnaby, whom you might have heard of in school or in your nightly recitation of the litany. Okay, no, there's no way in the world that I ever read anything about a queef. She was born Queef Mallory in the east of France in 1639. Oh my God.
Queef Mallory.
Later on, wait, what is this? Queef fell into the fad of helping the sick and the poor. Also in this time, much to the embarrassment of her parents, Queef began to fashion her hair into a right-facing gremment, also known as God's hairstyle. Okay, I don't care about her hair. I want to know why we call things Queef. She died, and this was not counted on as martyrdom, even though it was a pagan swallow. However, the Pope was in attendance at the wake, as he happened to be in the region supervising the creation of relics. Although she had been deceased for days in the presence of Clement, this Pope, the corpse of Queef Mallory miraculously and audibly performed the bodily function that would soon become attributed to her name. Stunned to tears, the Pope quickly returned to Rome, and Saint Queef was canonized. Foregoing the usual 5-year waiting period in swimsuit competition, St. Queef is the patron saint of concrete, runny things. Wow. So her vagina released gas when she was dead in front of a pope. He saw it as a miracle and made her a saint.
Okay, so...
That's what I just read. I don't know if that's true or not. That doesn't sound true to me.
Also known as vaginal flatulence. Is it an emission or expulsion of air from the vagina? It may occur during or after sexual intercourse or during the sexual acts, stretching, or exercise.
Yes.
The sound is somewhat comparable to flatulence from the anus, but does not involve waste gases and thus often does not have a specific odor associated. Slang terms for vaginal flatulence include Bart, queef, and fanny fart. Mostly,
yeah, I have heard that.
Mostly
they
British.
They also say pussy fart, which of course that's crass.
Vaginal gas that involves strong odor or fecal matter may be a result of colovaginal fistula.
Ew!
It's a tear.
Oh my God.
It's a tear between the vagina and colon.
Vagina belch. Pussy trumpet. Okay.
What? Wow. If someone ever said that to me, do you know how dried up I would be? Like instantly.
So here's the deal. We got a really funny submission about queefs, and so because I like to read too, I found another one. And in my research for finding embarrassing queef moments or awkward queef moments, I came across copious amounts of stories. Interestingly, men don't care. Shockingly, they do not find it at all a turnoff. In fact, they laugh if the girl laughs, and they just get right back to it. Like it's nothing. I'm as shocked as you are. I really thought that this would be something that would be completely.
I know that's what they say, but I struggled to get past it because the worst part about it is you cannot control it whatsoever.
Exactly. Okay, so
you can't control how long it goes either.
Well, there was one that I read where she said that we were having sex and it was a marathon session, which, by the way, no one likes those. It had been he said, it's been 2 hours. I finally pulled out because I was getting tired. And her vagina just started queefing, and she pushed me away and covered her vagina, and it was still queefing for a solid 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And he goes, and then we just laughed, and then ultimately, finally got it done. But anyway, I thought that was really
funny.
Okay,
makes it worse.
Well, yes, it does. Actually, and there was another one where she did it, and these were guys retelling these tales.
Oh God.
She queefed. And she was so embarrassed, she closed her legs and she said, "Can you leave the room for a moment?"
She said what?
She told him to leave the room.
Okay, so, I told you, see, the only experience I had where it was the most horrific one I've ever had is I was with an extra large partner. And
right, yes, you told me.
And, he had been pumping for quite a while, and then so we flipped our positions, and I was on top, and I leaned backwards. I guess it was like, I don't know, it was like letting air out of the balloon or something like that at the angle I was in. But as soon as that happened, I leaned forward, and then I tried to cover myself, and it was just going. And so I grabbed the blankets, and I still kept trying to like muffle the sound or something. He's like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I'm like, it's not okay.
This is really embarrassing. Okay, so here's the two I have. Here's the first one. I've had some poorly timed and resounding queefs. What makes it extra awkward is that my boyfriend will always try to cover up the unsexiness by saying something like, "Yeah, baby, you like that?" Then I just feel like he thinks my vagina is expressing its enjoyment through farty sounds, and he's trying to continue a conversation with it.
I have had guys think that somehow it's like an expression of appreciation or something like that, and I'm like,
can we not highlight this?
I just ignore them, and I'm just like, think what you want. I don't, as long as you don't think it's something else, then fine. Go with it.
Okay. And so now here's the thing. Queefs aren't relegated to just sex. They can happen all the time. Like if you've ever tried to do an unusual yoga pose, for example, or if you're pregnant, right? I mean, it can happen.
Do you remember the first time you ever had one?
No, I don't.
Okay. I was, I think, like a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
And we were all doing like that timed test of like where your partner was holding your feet and you were doing sit-ups.
No.
Well, it was so loud. I didn't hear anything. No, not the queef.
Oh, I'm like, what?
No, the room. It was so loud, but I could have sworn I felt like something. And I'm like, what was that?
Oh my God.
And I was just like, that was really weird. It felt like a puff of air came out from somewhere. And
I was reading, some girls like it.
What?
Like they think it feels good.
That's stupid.
I think it's like guys who like to feel farts come out. It feels good. I don't know. That's a whole realm of satisfaction that I do not understand, but apparently they're there.
People are so strange.
They really are. All right, here's our second one. This one says, I was 9 months pregnant and had a friend coming over to drop off a gift for the baby. Little backstory on the friend. We had an ugly falling out years before this and would be the first time I was seeing her in person since then. Before she came over, I was leaned over the counter writing out a grocery list. Well, apparently that caused a lot of air to accumulate inside me because as we stood there talking, I kept queefing. It was embarrassing enough that it happened once, but then it kept happening. Oh my God. Neither one of us acknowledged it. Well, no, because she's trying to be a good friend. She's never had children, so she doesn't quite know how being 9 months pregnant can make your body do crazy shit, but she was still gracious enough not to say anything, but she was so embarrassed.
I don't think that happened to me when I was pregnant.
Okay, first of all, I will say this. I have leaned over, kind of relaxing my hips and, like writing or something, leaned over and had that happen. Absolutely. Once you've had kids, you can do as many Kegels as you want, but it can happen. It does happen. If there's a lot of pressure, and it's like pushing down and you're relaxed, I can see how air can suck in and cause the queef.
I mean, Kegels they're not miracle workers, for God's sakes.
No. And, we're talking about the opening of your vagina, not the inside, the muscles. In fact, the muscles are so strong and the opening's a little weak. That is absolutely a perfect storm for queefing. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, well, keep on queefing, everyone. So it's going to happen.
Like anybody has much of a choice.
They don't.
Maybe that's what we should invent. Some kind of cream or something that, prevents queefs. I don't know.
I don't think there's a way. It's a tunnel of love, and it never closes. And sometimes it just gets air in there.
Okay, so we'll accept that, but we won't fart. I mean, come on.
I'm not accepting it. First of all, I am not accepting any of this. Okay, but it is our body, and we're acknowledging that these things occur. That's all I'm saying. It has happened, and I act like I didn't hear it. That's all I can do.
Okay. The ones that have happened to me, there's no way I can act like I didn't hear it. It's just impossible. Because usually I start kind of snickering, and I'm like, oh my God.
All I can say in true, and I am being completely honest, I have the longest memory of all, and I am confident that I have blocked it out of my memory. I can't think of one time where I've done it, but I know it's happened because, you know, I'm a whore when it comes. I mean, I'll do anything, so I know it's happened, but I just can't. I can't remember.
I guess the only thing I guess the only thing that I can hope is that the people that I've been with, I would assume have been with other people, and it's like very commonplace.
Every story that I read about men who were going down on their girl and she queefed, it's usually because they're manipulating with their hand or something, and then air gets in there, and then they do it. And of course, the girl's embarrassed. But there was a lot of laughter. It's not like this is something that, you know, ends anything. Except for the one time, apparently, that a guy, she queefed, they finished having sex, and the guy said, you're going to have to do something about that. She's like, I got up, got dressed, and told him to fuck off, and I never heard from him again.
Yes, seriously.
What an asshole!
That just means he was inexperienced.
Those are the kind of guys, though, that have these really weird expectations on women. Like, he probably only dates women who have Barbie doll bodies, you know. And
he was probably like super Catholic, and after they got married, they were like never going to have sex unless they were having kids. And
oh, God, maybe. All right. Well, that's all we have for that's all I have for today.
Yes. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. Hopefully you had a great Veterans Day, and thank you to all our veterans out there who listen. We appreciate your sacrifice and all that you've done for our country. And then you're going to want to head over to lipandclip.com. It kind of sneaks up on you sometimes with the glimmer sticks. I think I may have mentioned this before. When you roll them up, you don't realize that like that could be your last roll, and then you're just like all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I'm out of eyeliner.
The little nub falls out.
That happens to me all the time. So that happened to me. So I have to get some new lip liners, eyeliners, and I probably should freshen up my skincare routine because I realized my eyes are getting wrinkly. And you know what else I noticed? Oh my God, I took a picture of myself yesterday, and my arm was kind of like tweaked over. And my boob lifted. My chest is wrinkly. So
you have crepe paper chest.
I saw that. And I'm just like, oh my God, what do I do? Is that a lotion thing? Is that a moisturizer thing? I don't know.
It's a genetic thing. Good luck trying to fix it. I've been trying for a long time.
You have it too?
A little bit, yeah.
I have it like Mom does.
Yeah, you just have to. I just slather myself in moisturizers, and they apparently, and I don't know if Lip and Clip has these, but if they do, there are some neck and chest masks that you can get. Mm-hmm. So if they have those, I'm definitely getting them.
Well, I'm going to see what they have because I need some help. I need to start taking better care of my skin and doing some sort of skincare routine.
I would agree with you.
Plus, I can't walk around with giant zits on my nose. That's just awful.
You really can't. So. And the blackhead suction vacuum will not work for that.
No. I don't want to do that. So anyways, all right, friends. Well, thanks for joining us, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.